welcome to Scrolling with Caesar. Today is June 19th, 2026. Okay, so we've got a little bit of red today. Everything's kind of down, but not terribly. It's kind of bouncing around. It's still up on the week or so, so we're looking okay, but a little pullback. I hope you have some LPs harvesting some of these, some of this volume. Gold is, back down again a little bit. Everything's looking a little bit iffy, but we do what we got to do. Hype is, everything kind of hype's bouncing around near all-time high, doing okay, I guess. I wouldn't be buying here, but you can do whatever you want, I guess. Let's move into some of the tweets, and as always, this is not financial advice. You do you, and you figure it out. Okay, so the first tweet I have here today is from Liquidity. So the voting went through yesterday or the day before, I can't remember. But basically, this Liquidity carry vault, whereas you deposit ETH in here and it just compounds you more and more ETH, it's getting some incentives from voting on Liquidity. So Liquidity has this process where you can vote with LQTY staked to direct some of the borrow costs of people who mint Bold. And some of it's being sent here. It's currently giving about 12%. So that's ETH, 12% APY in ETH, just compounding more and more ETH. If this is something, if you're an ETH bull or ETH holder, you can consider this. There's a little bit of contract risk because there's two protocols or three protocols being used here, but they're not obscure or strange. It's just Liquidity, Curve, and the IPOR vaults. So do some due diligence, look at it, figure out if this is something you would like to participate in. Okay, so Flying Tulip's doing pretty good. I do have my own put options. I really like the put options that this put marketplace that they have, where you can buy and sell the FT token with downside protection. So basically, you can, like, say you buy $2,000 worth of FT tokens. You will be able to get out roughly $2,000. Depends on how much you pay for it, right? You got to look at the cost versus the backing. But all the put options are backed by USDC, and you can pull the USDC out at any time. So they've got a new Curve pool for the stablecoin. You can participate in that if you want. You can just deposit FT tokens into SFT and get some of that. But anyhow, it's doing okay. I think it's not as huge as everyone would love, as what they had hoped for, but still doing pretty good. Take a look at it. Okay, DeFi Dad has this clip here with Tom Dulevy, and Tom Dulevy is talking a little bit about why the ETH price doesn't quite make sense. He's not saying that go long, go 50x long today and it'll pump tomorrow, but he is saying that the price doesn't quite match the utility of it, and he uses the fact that ETH is used as consensus to stake and secure, because it's proof of stake, to secure a lot of capital on chain. And then that capital just keeps growing. It's just growing and growing, and it's pretty clear that ETH is the place to deploy large capital. So eventually, the ETH price will catch up in a way to secure that capital. I'm going to read through Ariando's tweet here, because I don't think I can say it much better than he says it here. He says, "This is how brain dead the crypto industry still is. It costs roughly $30 million per year to keep developing the L1, which is effectively becoming the settlement layer of the Internet of Finance. Bitcoin's proof of work burns roughly the same amount of money every single day. One funds open source global infrastructure backed by the most sound digital store of value in the world. The others pays for energy-intensive security model attached to an asset that is structurally and economically inferior as a store of value. not useful in the real world finance, and increasingly hard to justify based on Bitcoin's own fee and security budget metrics. This is the quiet part said out loud. The thing talking heads in the space will not dare to say, but should, because it's the truth. Now, like, so he's basically like, I've always looked at Bitcoin as kind of like an expensive to run meme coin, which is kind of sad but crazy. But at the same time, like we all cheer for Bitcoin because we know if Bitcoin goes to zero, then all of crypto will just kind of follow, because it'll just be it's the pinnacle. If the pinnacle falls or crumbles, then can really the other ones sustain themselves, or be considered safe? And people are just stupid, and they don't assess things individually. They assess things in bulk, like or in correlations, right? So I think that. So anyhow, I thought I'd tweet that. So Aerodrome tweeted out this 70 billion volume on base. So that's only on base, okay? $70 billion of volume on Aerodrome so far. It's pretty significant. It's pretty crazy. So here we have Fed interns. This is a pretty long tweet, but he basically is going into the idea of, like, again, why Solana is, why Ethereum is great. And he's like, let's read a few things. So it's great that this debate on Ethereum is happening finally in the open. The agenda of Tradabas, of this guy, is to get funding to keep Ethereum core devs working. I do think, the Ethereum core devs do need to keep working, and we do see a lot of news about them leaving, and we don't see any news about people joining. So it's like we only hear the negative. We don't hear the ideas of what's kind of coming and what's like the bullish stuff or what's good. I'll retweet this, and you can kind of go through and read through it. This is the part here that I do want to kind of read out loud on the pod. So I'll read this, and then you can go and dig deeper into this. He says, my agenda is the opposite of Trent's. It's very simple. I want to stop funding people who aren't doing good work. Who decides that? Normally the market. People want something, they pay for it, and there's a clear feedback loop between demand and supply. Ethereum's engineering teams are completely disconnected from the basic dynamic. They just get funded by the ETH Foundation. I want this to stop. I think Ethereum will grow. So I agree with him. Like, it's kind of like an ivory tower, the way it's set up, and perhaps there is some sort of better way to do it. Anyhow. So Beefy Finance, I've used this for many years. I'm in and out of it sometimes. I do have positions on Beefy, so I'm a little bit biased on this. But basically, they have these vault-to-vault zaps now. So it's quite easy. You can jump across chains, jump across strategies. You just like click one thing here, click where you want to go, press go, and it just kind of does everything for you. I think this kind of user experience is very good and very valuable, and I think a lot of people can benefit from this this sort of user experience. Moving on. Okay, so Frax Finance is tweeting about Jane, 3Jane. I did a video yesterday on 3Jane explaining how this thing works. It's pretty cool. But here we have Frax Finance is their main peg keeper pool. So they have this FRX USD3 pool on Curve. The base APY, so you're getting like 3.5% in trading fees and CRV rewards perhaps. But you're getting a whole bunch of Jane points, and they're like emitting a whole bunch of Jane to people who supply to this pool. There's like 700K in there, so it can take a significant amount of addition to this pool and still have a acceptable APR. Now, I'm not sure about these Jane tokens, how they work, or the documentation didn't talk much about Jane tokens, and even if you can dump them right now. So do your due diligence, look a little bit deeper. So here's another tweet by Jane Finance, so 3Jane. So it says like 30 million deployed across 2 US fintech facilities. So the cool thing about this is basically is that they're sucking in a whole bunch of USDC, and then they're lending it on Aave, but they're also lending it to these like fintech facilities which do these kind of private loans in the real world, which is quite nice, and I think it's pretty cool. So as you can see, there's 17,000 underlying vaults. There's also some crypto vaults, like a crypto, crypto loans, where people or entities or protocols have borrowed from 3chain to do something in crypto, and then they're going to repay it. Okay, so that's happening. So check that out. Okay, let's read through this. It says, if Ethereum, so this guy says Ethereum is a business, not a country, and it should be run as such. JM responds to him and says, well, no, you're wrong. Like if Ethereum is legally a business, it needs to be incorporated and taxed. Ethereum, the token, is then a security, but there's no managing a team. There's no real managing team for Ethereum. The Ethereum Foundation cannot shut down Ethereum. It's neither a business nor a country, but a weird third thing. So yeah, I agree with him. Like, we shouldn't keep trying to like paint. I think Matt's just trying to like paint Ethereum as a business so that we can figure out ways to make the token pump by revenue generation and PE ratios and stuff like this. But if we just kind of think of it, it's not a business. It's Ethereum. So then we can kind of get past that. Aave v4 has just released another new security audit. I don't know how many audits they did at first, but obviously they did some, right? They wouldn't have launched v4 without having security audits, but they just paid and got a new security audit. So if you want to check through that, it is here. You can check it and read it. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about today is this here, Ceazor Dogo. He's dropped this weird thing. I haven't really been able to look at it, but it's kind of like a multi-sig, but it's based on the crops mentality. So operational security first, peer-to-peer on-chain queue sync, no permission or centralized components at all. So yeah, so I assume the front end even, or the interaction. I don't know if there's a front end to this, but basically, yeah, this entire thing is just all permissionless on-chain. It's a multi-sig wallet. I haven't tested it. I haven't used it. And I'm just taking Doggy's word for it. But yeah, so you can check that out. That's the last thing for today. I hope this is interesting and useful. And thank you for listening, and goodbye.